Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Bossman Show. We were at our Hawk House head coach Ben McCollum here on the Bossman Show for the first time. Coach, good to talk to you. How this going to you this morning, man?
Man, it's going great. It's rainy here, but it's going well.
I hear that, Coach. Let me ask you, man, talk about your success last year at Drake, man, doing what you did there and moving on here to Iowa. Just your journey in basketball in general, and just how you was winning so much at D2 now, took the challenge of going to the Missouri Valley Conference in D1, and now you in the Big Ten. Talk about your journey, Coach. It was very amazing to watch from afar.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it was never my intent to necessarily be at this level. It was just, you know, try to be great that day is pretty much all that we wanted to do, and try to make a difference on kids' lives. And so, you know, we started off at Northwest, and we ended up winning a lot of games and winning a lot of games very quickly. You know, I guess it's 15 seasons. It seems quick. And then, you know, schools came calling, and it was like, okay, so we can make a difference on a different community, and Drake was that. Obviously, after that, a lot of these Power Fives called, and it's an even bigger platform. And so, you know, then you make the move here. It was never, I think, too often when you focus too much on results or your future goals, I think a lot of times you miss the process of getting there. And so we weren't necessarily focused on this. It just kind of happened.
And Coach McCollum, let me ask you this, Coach. In Northwest Missouri State, you were 38-80-0 one year, 35-1 one year. So how did your team approach every game, knowing that you would have hunted every night? You expected to win every night, and everybody's kind of hunch you like this Super Bowl to play you guys and knock you all off. So how would your team handle that pressure every night, knowing that you had to win games because everybody's coming for you based on your success?
Yeah, I think that's the process of approach, meaning I've always, you know, I think what is the book, Ego is the Enemy? They say work is the win. And we made that a priority in our program, that every day your work is the win. Regardless of if you win the game or not, it has nothing to do with what you're doing on a daily basis with your practice habits. I think, specific to like the 38-0 team, this team had a lot to prove, and they kind of had an edge to them. I probably coached with an edge to me. Just, I didn't get recruited Division I. Division II, I had a partial scholarship, and so you just naturally create those different things in your mind that make you want to fight, and not actually fight, but fight as a program. And so we did that, and had a tough group, tough kids. I think the 38-0 team actually only had 11 kids on the roster. We redshirted 2, so we only actually had 9 that were eligible to play. So just had kids that wanted to prove something.
And Coach, it's something that you said was about the process. Even me, almost 40 years old, I still go out and shoot every day and walk and exercise every day. Talk about kids getting that process method, that methodology, to have knowing they have a routine every day, have a purpose for your day, and everything having a reason why you do it, not just doing it to do it, and just getting everything out of what we do, being an everyday guy.
Yeah, I think when you focusing on results, or, hey, I want to win a national title, doesn't get you any closer to winning a national title. Or, hey, I want to be healthier. I want to have a healthier lifestyle. That actually you can do. But, I want to lose 25 pounds. It's like, okay, that's great. And I appreciate your goal with the end in mind. That's kind of the obvious goal. But, ultimately it's the process that gets you there. And so if you can get excited about, what people probably would call, something that you wouldn't necessarily get excited for, your walk every day, or whatever you're talking about. And then from a basketball perspective, just the practice itself, just get excited about that one drill, the one thing that you're focused on and in the present on. And that's what we've tried to do. But you just don't accomplish any goals by focusing on the actual goal itself, because that's irrelevant. It's still just making sure that you focus on your daily habits.
100%. And that's something I try to tell young men I mentor today, Coach McCollum, that, hey, it's a process. You have to really master your process, master your routine, because without a routine, you have nothing. You're just doing something to do it. So, and I know I'm big on mapping out my day, having my task here, what I'm going to do. So I try to pass it to the young men I mentor, so they can put that into their games, because you can't just do what you do in practice with the coaches. You have to do it on your own and go in the gym on your own. Because let's talk about that, coaches, as well, having that drive to go get extra work in without you being around. Really honing in on your craft to get better every day.
Yeah, I mean, there's a natural drive that comes with it, but you don't always just do things when you're actually motivated to do them. There's a level of professionalism that comes with some of the best players that I've coached, and the best coaches that I've been around. Is it's just like, hey man, I don't really feel like doing it, and there's days that I don't feel like doing it. But that's the separator. The days that you don't feel like doing it, can you get yourself up to be able to compete and go about your business, get your shots up, whatever that may be. Like we have a kid, Bennett Sturts, on our team, and he's going to end up being in the NBA, and he didn't have a single Division I offer. Well, he'll be here at 6, 7 a.m. every morning, and practice won't be till 10. And it's every morning. It's not just like when he feels like it, or there's a wave of motivation to it. It's like, no, it's today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, regardless of his motivation level, because he understands that work is the win, and he needs to make sure that he puts it in.
And Coach, as a bit of competitor, I know you are. You're in the Big Ten. Every night's gonna be a tough night for you guys, man, on the court, getting high competition from that conference. Talk about, just as a competitor, as a coach and your staff, the excitement to go against these teams every night with quality coaches and quality players who will be in the NBA on so many teams here that you play every night.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It challenges you to a different level, and ultimately, you're still. Your number one goal is to make a difference on kids' lives and in the community that you're in. And so, but if you can do that at the highest level and compete against some of the best coaches and players in the country, that's going to bring out the best or, the worst in some people. And so, hopefully it brings the best out of the kids that we coach and myself and our coaching staff. And the only way to do that, it's the old deal. If you're the best kid on your block, find a new block. And so we want to make sure that we find the highest level of competition and be able to play against that.
And Coach McCollum, for a young man who watches these interviews with me and you today, what are you looking for in a young man off the floor? For as the pillars of your program, the values of your program that they must possess to be a part of this Hawkeye thing going forward that you're building? Because I know basketball, you get the talent's got to be the ball. So those off the court challenges are very important as well to cohesiveness and winning as a team.
I mean, what we look for is we like guys that want to serve, and so it's hard to identify that. You have to do a lot of homework on it, but guys that understand that they're not on the team for themselves and they're not in this world for themselves. And if they can have that mentality going in, a lot of times you can create a really good team dynamic. From a few other things, we're big on energy. So I like high energy guys and guys that like to get after it and compete. And then, we like guys with a little edge to them. And so, those are some things that we look for in the recruiting process.
And Coach, this summer, we're having a whole new team. You brought some guys with you as well. But are you doing more playing or doing more team stuff? Or you still focus on individual development as well as you kind of try to mesh all three before you come back here in August to really get started for that fall practice to get ready for November 3rd?
Yeah, we play a lot. I'm a big believer in 5-on-5, and so from a basketball perspective, the more 5-on-5 you can play, the better. And so we compete, we play, we get after each other. It's competitive every day, and that's just what I've always enjoyed doing. I like that as a player. So we do some drills and make sure that we do a lot of teaching and et cetera. But we love to play 5-on-5.
And Coach, talk about the team bonding piece of it in the summertime that allows you to redo that team bonding when this new portal NIL where it's a whole new team every year. Even though you guys are familiar with some of them are familiar who you brought with you, but talk about that team bonding piece of it and doing things in the summertime really to the cohesiveness, because you've got to really be together from now until March if you want to accomplish the goals you want to accomplish. So talk about that piece as well, Coach.
Yeah, I think the best team bonding is going through tough things, and so. The more we can make our summers difficult, like in the weight room with conditioning, even in practice, and put them in challenging situations where they have to respond as a group, I think that creates a better bond than any team bonding activity that can be done. And so we really put a lot on the basketball, the weights, the conditioning, that portion, and get it to a point where there's some failure there and see how they respond as a group. Then you do have your team activities, whether you go to the lake or different things that you do, go golfing, whatever it may be. And so those are great too, but more importantly, I think just competing against each other helps that.
I just want to ask you about the nutrition piece of the equation here as well, with guys having to eat right, sleep right, rest and recovery there, prehab and rehab. Talk about trying to educate your guys on the importance of those things, because you play from November to March and you want to be healthy and not have these nagging injuries that linger all year long. So about the factor of conditioning now, as we're trying to build it every day here in the summertime, condition ourselves and eat right and do our right thing with rehab so we can be healthy come March and going to April, hoping that's Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, I think taking care of your body, that's what pros do. And guys that want to have a professional career, they need to understand that. I think it starts with your sleep, obviously, just making sure that you actually go to bed on time and, get that whatever your body requires, 8 hours of sleep is kind of the common number, but, whatever your body requires, making sure that you actually do that. But too often with this generation, they'll go to bed at 2:00 and it's like, I went to bed early. I'm like, early? Golly, that's the latest I've been awake in the last 10 years. So yeah, I think sleep, and then obviously your hydration. And then after that, you do have your making sure that you eat right. I think it becomes difficult as a college kid to really discipline that. And so, what we try to focus on would be your hydration and your sleep first and foremost, because those are easy things to control. And then after that, trying to eliminate some, maybe the fast food that you would go to, some of your sugar, that stuff. And then it helps your body to be able to function late in the season.
Coach, I got 3 more for you, Coach. One of them I'll ask you is this, Coach. At what point did you decide you want to get into coaching? Because I know this is you as a player. So at what point for you did you say, hey, I might have a coaching path to impact young men that way?
Not until I actually graduated with a finance degree from Northwest Missouri State. And I went to work for Wells Fargo for, I think, 3 months. And then, kind of got the itch to come back and decided I wanted to be a coach, and felt like that was the best way to make a difference, and paid for my own way of graduate school, and then was a graduate assistant after that, and then an assistant for 4 years, and obviously the head coach after that. So it wasn't till after I graduated college that I decided I wanted to be a coach.
And for you, Coach McCollum, we just come off for Father's Day and holidays like that. So how cool is it for you when your guys text you back on Father's Day or Christmas or Thanksgiving and say, thanks, Coach, for all what you've done for me? And I know it was hard at times when I played for you, but now I get what you're trying to do for me. And to seeing them be successful husbands, business people, have a successful corporate jobs and playing overseas. How cool is that for you as a coach when you hear back from your players knowing that you had an impact on where they are today?
I think that's why you do it. At least that's why I choose to do it. And your greatest thank you is their success, not necessarily just being successful and being the best at something, but, just being a good human being that gives back to the community that they're in. And so, you see that in 10 years, that's the best thank you can have, regardless if anybody ever tells you thank you or, whatever it may be. It's not really why you do it. It's, hey, this is the difference that you made. You can see that and you can identify it. And it's like, man, that feels good. And that's why you coach.
And last one, Coach, also I have a food podcast as well, Coach, on food blogs. I want to ask you, what's some cool spots out there in your town where you can eat at when we go across how guys play? What's some cool spots for us to come and eat and see what it's all about there, man?
Man, if you're coming to Iowa City, oh boy, there's quite a few. There's Joseph's Steakhouse right there. There's Iowa Chop House. There's Basta, which is really good. Yeah, I mean, there's some spots now. And then if you're trying to just get something quick, I always go to Estella's, which is like a kind of Chipotle, but I think better. So there's some spots here.
No doubt, Coach. We're gonna put them in our little Excel spreadsheets. We love to go. We visit different schools and we love to go eat and test things out as well. So, Coach, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, Coach. It's fun to meet you. Hope to have you on the show more in the future, more times in the future, man. And I'll be cheering for you. And I hope you have a great year, Coach.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Coach. It's fun.
Yep. We'll see, boss. Have a good one.
All right.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.